guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're watching this video, I'm assuming that you're interested in possibly using Sola Wood flowers for your wedding. I was really excited to get my first batch of Sola Wood flowers in the mail, and just today I'm gonna share with you what I like and don't like about them. I am gonna go with Sola Wood flowers, I'm pretty sure, for our wedding, but I can understand how they're not for everybody. So yeah, hopefully this video will help you determine whether or not you want to use them for your wedding. My name is Brittany from wayfaringweddings.com. I'm currently writing about my own wedding planning on my blog and also making YouTube videos just like this. So if you like it, please give it a real like below and subscribe to my channel. And then go and watch some of my other weird wedding videos just like this one. Today we're going to talk about what Sola Wood flowers are, how they differ from real flowers in terms of price and feel and look. Do they last forever? Do they float? Do they come with stems? Are they good for centerpieces? We'll cover a lot of these things in this video. Alright, if you have any questions, please write your comments below and I will try to help you as much as I can. I'm definitely not a Sola Wood flower expert, but I'm playing around with Sola Wood flowers a lot, so I will try to help you as best as I can. So first of all, I'm just going to show you Sola Wood flower up close. If you haven't seen them before, if you haven't ordered any for yourself, they look like this. So they're super light. I've compared them to the feeling of like thinly sliced styrofoam before. And you can see on the back they're tied together with some string. I don't know if you get a really good sense of them. They're just super light, lighter than I expected. And it's because they're made out of roots. They're made out of either balsa wood, cassava, or Sola wood plants. And the bark is shaved off of these plants, and then the innards, I guess, are shaved into really thin sheets and then wet in water, cut and shaped into these flowers by hand. So no two Sola Wood flowers are alike, I guess, just like real flowers, because they're all made by hand. As far as I know, I don't think there's any like machine-made Sola Wood flowers. Let me know if I got that wrong. So I bought all of my flowers from Oh You're Lovely, and there's actually a coupon code below if you want to use that. You'll get 20% off if you use that coupon code. So yeah, I mean, there are definitely a lot of advantages, but also some things that are maybe not great for some people. And the first thing is that if you're not really like a DIY type person, I don't think I would go with Sola Wood flowers. That's like probably thing number one to keep in mind. If you don't like DIYing, if you're not into crafting, this might not be worth it for you because it just won't be like, you're not going to be having that much fun with it and it'll just frustrate you. Having said that, you can buy already made bouquets and stuff, Sola Wood flower bouquets and boutonnieres and stuff on Etsy, and probably other places as well, because there are artisans who will make these things for you and you just buy it from them, and I'm pretty sure it's still cheaper than real flowers. If you are going to do your own Sola Wood flowers for your wedding, you might want to dye them, because they come white or creamy colored like I just showed you, but you can literally dye them any color you want. And so the way that I have I guess like practiced with this so far is with acrylic paint, just like dollar store acrylic paint, and also I painted some of them with watercolor paint. I didn't see a huge difference between the two. They both made my flowers feel a lot more brittle and dry. So what I did is I mixed the acrylic paint with water and also the watercolor paint with water, and dunked my flowers. I used the Oh You're Lovely tutorial videos on YouTube, which are really good. And then I read on some Facebook groups that you should put the flowers in the oven to dry, which actually was a good idea. I felt like they dried really quickly compared to leaving them out in the sun. But the problem with that is I think it dried them out even more. So that's something to keep in mind. I have bought some glycerin, vegetable glycerin, which is a chemical that you can mix with boiling water. I think it's 1 part glycerin to 3 parts boiling water. And if you dunk your flowers in this mixture before dyeing them, you can dye them right after doing this, or you can let them dry and then dye them. So if you do that, apparently your flowers are much softer and less likely to tear and chip. So I'm going to try that in my future dyeing experience with my other Sola Wood flowers. So that is a really cool thing about Sola Wood flowers, is you can dye them like any color you want. They come in any shape you can imagine, any size, and you can prepare them like months before your wedding. So like you can have all your flowers done and you don't have to worry about them. As far as the price, they're a lot cheaper than real flowers. Of course, there are always exceptions, but in general, when you compare prices of Sola Wood flowers to average prices of real flowers, the Sola Wood flowers tend to be a lot cheaper, even when you take into account like all of the greenery, like dried greenery that you have to buy to accompany Sola Wood flowers, and like the DIY type stuff like a glue gun. Like even when you take all of that into account, I think it's still a lot cheaper than going for real flowers. Another advantage of Sola Wood flowers is that they last forever, so you can keep these long after your wedding, like, I don't know, like in a vase, in a jar somewhere. If you're getting a flower crown or making a Sola Wood flower crown, which actually I have behind me, such as this one right here. Haven't quite finished it, but not bad, not bad. If you're making Sola Wood flower crowns, you can have them all made and ready to go way in advance, maybe for your flower girls or whoever. So that is pretty cool, all of the advanced planning you can do with Sola Wood flowers. Sola Wood flowers don't come pre-stemmed usually. You can buy, like I said, you can buy them from artists on Etsy already like made and in bouquets and already nice, but generally when you buy Sola Wood flowers, they come in a package like loose, and that's actually kind of a cool thing for most crafters because you can do whatever you want with them. You don't have to like only put them in flower bouquets, right? But it does require you to buy stems separately, so keep that in mind. I just bought some stems from Etsy in little packages like this. There's so much plastic, unfortunately. I know you can also buy stems from Oh You're Lovely, but when I went to buy stems at the time, they had run out. So I ended up getting these ones on Etsy. So you can see like just, I don't know, wire stems here to stem your Sola Wood flowers. And yeah, basically you just use a glue gun, put a little bit of glue on the flower itself, like right in here, put a little bit of glue on the stem, boop, stick it in, you've got your flower stemmed. I've only had my Sola Wood flowers for a few months, like I said, so I haven't had to do a lot of like maintenance or taking care of them, but I've read about how to take care of your Sola Wood flowers. The only two enemies of Sola Wood flowers are mold and dust. So mold, to avoid your Sola Wood flowers getting moldy, which is disgusting, but these are natural plants, right? So they can get moldy. So as soon as you get your bag of Sola Wood flowers in the mail, take them out of the bag, the plastic bag, immediately, and give them some air. Never store them in an airtight container. They will grow mold. So make sure that the container that you have them in has holes in it. Remember with the mold too, if you are dyeing your Sola Wood flowers, to dry them as soon as possible. So put them in the sunlight, in direct sunlight, for a couple of days. Let them dry out completely. You could use my oven method, just put them in the oven at a really low heat and let them dry out, because if not, they will get moldy. To prevent dust, you can just use one of these things. So just like a computer dust thing that you would use on your keyboard. You just kind of aim that at your flowers, dust them off, and that's how you control the dust on your Sola Wood flowers. A third enemy, I guess, would be just the fact that your flowers are so delicate, so moving them too much or squeezing them or having somebody like knock them onto the floor and too hard, I don't know. They can be quite delicate, so watch out for that as well. Some people have wondered whether or not Sola Wood flowers can float, and the answer is yes. Yes, they can. I did a little experiment with this and wrote about it on my blog with photos. I'll put a link below if you're interested in that. But basically, I took a flower that was not dyed and a flower that is dyed, and I put them both in water for hours, like something like 5 or 6 hours, to see what would happen to them, because some people want to use Sola Wood flowers in their floating centerpieces and wondered if they would float. So yeah, the bottom line is they do float, but there's a possibility of them falling apart in the water after too many hours. So the best thing you can do to avoid this is to use Sola Wood flowers that are wrapped really tightly. So a tightly wrapped rose, for example, or a flower with petals, something like this, where they're just tightly wrapped together, as opposed to something like this that has a lot of space in it. Because then the water can't really easily get between the petals and it'll continue to float all night long. You should probably also avoid dyed flowers, because in my experiment, even though in my experiment it didn't make too much of a difference, I've heard of other people having problems where the dye leaked into the water. I did it with acrylic red painted flowers, and actually it didn't really leak that much. So anyway, I think it's totally possible to use Sola Wood flowers in your floating centerpiece arrangements. If you're worried about the smell of Sola Wood flowers, they don't really have a smell. They don't smell like anything, but real flowers obviously smell really good. So what you can do if you want your Sola Wood flowers to smell pretty like real flowers is that you can put a little bit of essential oil on the flower. So how you would do this is you'd take a little drop of essential oil, maybe a couple of drops, and put them on the back of the flower. I guess for undyed flowers it doesn't really matter, but if your flower is dyed and you put oil on the petals, the dye will run and it'll mess up the coloring of your flower. So just make sure if your flower is dyed, you put the essential oil on the back. There are some reports of people saying that their essential oil smell lasted 3 to 6 months on their Sola Wood flowers. Other people say that it's lasted for years. So I don't know, try it out, see what happens. Let me know in the comments below how long the scent lasted on your Sola Wood flowers. And finally, guys, these are just the more eco-friendly option for the most part, unless you're getting your real flowers locally from a locally sourced florist, and they're definitely a better alternative than other fake flowers that are made out of plastic. I would say that they definitely don't look like real flowers. They look like their own unique thing, so you're not going to fool anyone using Sola Wood flowers. My suggestion would be that you order a batch, try them out, see if you like them, give dyeing them a shot, and do this well in advance of your wedding, because you don't want to be in the position of 2 months before your wedding finding out that you hate DIYing Sola Wood flowers, you hate dyeing them, and it's just not a fun project for you. So do it well in advance, order a batch, see what you think. Use my code wayfaring20 to get 20% off your first order. And then if you like them, great. If you don't like them, you can go with another option. Alright guys, I hope this video was helpful. Please like and subscribe. See you next time.